Hello students, I Shobha Vadva from the USPC Jain Public School. Today we will study our next chapter, that is Heredity and Evolution of class 10th. In this chapter we will study about heredity. You know that reproductive processes give rise to new individuals that are similar but little bit different. The reproduction is of two types, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Reproduction gives rise to variation. So these variation when accumulate then give rise to evolution. So first of all, our first topic is accumulation of variation during reproduction. So variation appear during reproduction whether organisms are multiplying asexually or sexually. Each generation provide the next generation with a common basic body design and some subtle changes or variation. The variation accumulate and pass on to more and more individuals with each generation. The diversity is small in case of asexually reproducing organism as it is caused by only error of DNA copying mechanism. We read about it earlier also. When there is a copy in DNA, copy of DNA, that is replication of DNA occur, then there is small error occur, which is both in the asexual and sexual reproducing organisms. This figure represents the situation if a single individual reproduce as happen in the asexual reproduction. If one bacteria divide and then the resultant two bacteria divide again, the four individual bacteria generated would be very similar. There would be only very minor differences between them generated due to small inaccuracy in DNA copying. Okay, very minor differences in them. You see here, only very minor differences will be there which occur only due to error in the DNA copy. In the sexual reproduction, greater diversity occur because two parents, that is male and female parents, they are present. One male gamete which is from the male parent and one female gamete which is from the female parent, they fuses to give rise to the new young one. Now what is heredity? The passing on of characteristics or traits from parent to their offspring is known as heredity. And what is genetics then? Genetics is the study of heredity. Okay, passing on of traits from parent to offspring is known as heredity, and genetics is the study of heredity. Now what are inherited traits? Inherited traits are those traits that are passed down from parent to their offspring. Okay, the traits which are passed from parent to next generation, they are known as inherited traits. Okay, for example, in human, eye color, hair color, skin color, okay, these are passed from parent to the next generation. You also noticed about the attached ear lobe or free ear lobe. Okay, some of us are having the attached ear lobe or some of us are having free ear lobe. Why? What is the reason? these attached or free earlobe resemble with our parents. Okay. So this is also one of the example of inherited traits. Now these are the some examples of inherited traits. Okay. Man with attached earlobe. This earlobe is attached and it is a free earlobe. Okay. And here woman with a widow peak. Okay. And woman with no peak. Okay. So these are the examples of inherited traits. The rules for inheritance of such traits in human beings are related to the fact that both the father and the mother contributed practically equal amount of genetic material to the child. Okay, this means that each inherited trait can be influenced by both paternal and maternal DNA. Gregor John Mendel worked out the main rule of such inheritance. Mendel do his experiment on the pea plant. He found that the plant's offspring retained traits of the parent. Mendel is known as father of genetics because he given the law of inheritance. He had given rules for inheritance. The first law given by the Mendel for the monohybrid cross is law of segregation. The two alleles for a trait segregate during gamete formation and only one allele for a trait is carried in a gamete. The gametes combine at random. In other words, a cell contains two copies of a particular gene. They separate when a gamete is made. Now see here. There are two alleles for a particular trait. Tallness is a trait. Dwarfness is also contrasting trait. Okay. The trait is here height. Height, maybe the plant will be tall or it will be dwarf. So these are the contrasting traits. For one trait there are two alleles. Okay. This is the one and this is another. They get separated during the gamete formation. You just see here. They get separated during gamete formation. Okay. So this is the first law. So only one allele for a trait is carried in a gamete. Now second law is law of independent assortment. Alleles from one trait behave independently from alleles for another trait. Traits are inherited independently from one another. Mendel used a number of contrasting visible characters of garden pea like purple flowers and white flowers. These are the dominant form and these are the recessive form. Okay. He studied upon the 7 characters of pea plant. So first is purple flower versus white flower, yellow seed versus green seed, round seed versus wrinkled seed, green pod versus yellow pod. Green pod versus yellow pods, inflated pods, constricted pod, okay, axial flower, terminal flower. Last one is tall plants and dwarf plants. So he had taken number of contrasting characters of garden pea, okay, for his investigation. He produced progeny by crossing them and then calculated the percentage of tall or short progeny. Okay. In the monohybrid cross, that is the cross which is done for the single trait, for example, the height. Okay. For the height, the Mendel has taken in the contrasting tall pea plant and dwarf pea plant. Then the gametes are formed. Okay, these gametes are cross-pollinated, and in the F1 generation, he got all the tall plant. It means that tallness is dominant over the dwarfness because he got all the plants which are tall. So what he do then? Then he had taken the F1 generation as parent, and gamete from F1 generation, they are self-pollinated. So F1 generation gametes are self-pollinated. Okay, what the result will be there in the F2 generation? Okay, he got capital T. Okay, it means a tall plant. One capital T, small t, it is also tall. One capital T, one small t, it is also tall. And one dwarf plant which is having both the small t. It means that dwarfness is the recessive trait in presence of dominant trait, that is the tallness. Okay, if the single allele of tallness is present, okay, if the single, these two are allele now, if single allele is present of the tallness, the plant will be tall. So this law also proves that law of dominance and recessive. Okay, it means that for the recessiveness, both the alleles should be of the similar. Both the alleles should be similar. Okay, so these two are similar, that is small t. Okay, so this is a recessive trait. This trait is not able to express. This trait is not able to express itself in the presence of capital T. Okay, dwarf trait is not able to express itself in the presence of allele of tallness. So it is a recessive trait. Dwarfness is recessive trait. So what ratio we get here? We get here ratio the 3:1. 3 tall. If one single capital T is present, the plant will be tall. 3 tall and 1 dwarf. So the ratio is 3:1 for the F2 generation. Okay. It means that 75% tall plant, 25% dwarfness. If we calculate in the way of percentage, then 25% capital T, both the T are capital, and 2 are hybrid tall. Hybrid means which are having both the allele, that is capital and small. Okay, that is a hybrid. But the plant will be tall because the tallness is dominant over recessiveness. Is it clear? This is the monohybrid cross. This is also known as law of dominance and recessiveness.